Hi guys. All right. I am so honored to be speaking to everyone here. Thank you for coming from across the state to support and celebrate with us. We did it, guys. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. We have passed a milestone that we will not soon forget. And personally, I am very glad to be finished with this chapter of my life. But at the same time, I'm nervous because I don't know what the next chapter of my life will hold. But I think I've been well prepared for my future. So this speech has undergone many revisions, and it's hard to hold on to like the true meaning and goal behind something after it's been changed so many times. So if I can leave you with anything, remember this: know who you are. If you don't know who you are, then find who you are. Because as Gordon Eady said, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And only recently have I realized what that truly means. Growing up, I didn't really know who I was. I would do whatever my brother did. His first job was at the library, and so was mine. He wanted a beard, he wore hats and dressed in flannel, and so did I, minus the beard. But all my goals in life were either to follow him or make those around me happy. And while those aren't bad goals, I wasn't truly learning who I was. And so I was swayed by the ideas and people around me. Which brings us to the question, what is my identity? I first realized I didn't really know who I was when I tried to follow my brother into lifeguarding. He had been a lifeguard for about 3 years at this point, and I applied for the class, I paid the fee, and I passed the swim test. But as I worked on the classwork, on how to save lives and how someone's life could be resting in my hands, I had a breakdown. I got sick, and I had to quit the class. I realized in that moment, I am not my brother. I am not my parents. I may not know who I am yet, but nevertheless, I'm a unique and special person. And lots of us are trying to find who we are, which is a big step towards maturity. And some of us find our heroes in comic books, while others look to the past for their heroes. I see Teddy Roosevelt as my hero. He was the leader of the Rough Riders, and an all-around masculine guy. He was a man who was not passive. He accepted responsibility, he led courageously, and he invested in the lives around him. He was a leader. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The best boys I know, the best men I know, are good at their studies or their business, fearless and stalwart, hated and feared by all that is wicked and depraved, incapable of wrongdoing, and equally incapable of being aught but tender to the weak and helpless." In life, as in a football game, the rule to follow is hit the line hard. Don't foul, and don't shirk, but hit the line hard. His attitude towards life was imbued with the idea that life meant more than looking nice and taking selfies or fooling around with your bae. Instead, he believed that men and women should take a stand and be leaders of the future. An admirable attitude, and one we don't see enough of today. So as we begin our journey through student debt, research papers, and bad jobs with low pay, we must find who we are. Identity is important. Knowing who you are, your strengths, and more importantly, your weaknesses, gives you the confidence to take chances, to forge a path in unknown terrain. For example, I know that I am afraid of heights. Not the crippling kind of fear that keeps you from crossing bridges, but the kind of fear that makes you wish you hadn't looked down when you're climbing a tree. Anyway, I know that I get scared of heights. I'm scared around heights. So any chance I get, I go rock climbing or rappelling. Not because I like being scared, but because it makes me a better human being. If someone is in need of help, I want to help them, and I don't want my fears to stand in the way. I want my identity to be one of sacrifice and stalwartness. And right now you may not be feeling especially courageous, but neither did Teddy starting out. Growing up, he was a sickly child who longed to be like the men of the West. He set out to change his identity. He trained his body. He tried stuff that made him afraid, but he did it courageously. Then when it came time to lead men in battle or lead the country, he was ready. Not because he sat around wishing and hoping to be a man or a leader, but because he lived what he wanted to be. In order to be world changers and leaders, we mustn't sit on our hands thinking about the future. If you do that, the future will pass you by and you will live life doing nothing, filled with regret. So I challenge you, do something now before you lose your chance. If you have a chance to volunteer for a charity, do it. If you can get involved in a political campaign, do it. If you have a chance to go to France, do it. Take some pictures. If you can take a trip across America, do it, like I did, and have fun. If we want to live interesting lives, we can't sit around doing nothing. We must decide to do something and create and mold our identities instead of just fantasizing about what we could be. And I have a long journey ahead, as do all of us. But as we continue through our lives, we must have a goal in mind, a singular mind, someone to be like, something to do. And personally, I've chosen Theodore Roosevelt and the sentiments he represented. He said, "I have never in my life envied a human being who led an easy life. I have envied a great many people who led difficult lives and led them well. I aim to live a life well led. Not one sat in the lap of luxury, but one with a mind to change the world and lead it for the better." As I draw to a close, I want to thank some teachers who have really impacted me. I want to thank Miss Nicole, who instilled in me the love of science and biology. I want to thank Miss Andrus, who helped me pass chemistry. And I want to thank Mr. Hansley for his work this year in English. And thank you to all the teachers who brought me to where I am today. Your work will impact my life forever. To close, here's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. "Far and away, the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing." Teachers, your work is worth doing. Thank you.